like 12:40 on a Saturday, and I am at my mall. This is the mall that I grew up with, my husband and I both. It's actually the mall we met at. And it is on its way to being completely abandoned. There's still some things keeping it open, and we're going to go inside and take a look at how sad and vacant it is on a Saturday, when back in the day it would have been thriving at this time. Why don't you come with me and let's go inside. By the way, I didn't even mention, out of my excitement, this is Stratford Square Mall in Bloomingdale, Illinois. All right? You know, walking through the mall like I did when I was a kid and through the years with my husband was such a trip. And it's amazing to just like walk through these corridors and look at all the stores that used to be. I just can't get over how much it has changed, and how things have just gone downhill, how there's no longer any businesses that can thrive in the current world that we live in. It blows my mind. So going from store to store and looking through the bars and seeing that there was just nothing left in there made me so sad. Do you come from an age of going to the mall? Are you around my same age where you used to go and hang out with your friends and it was the place to be? You would go there and meet at the food court, or you'd go shopping. A lot of times you would go to meet, guys or girls and, exchange numbers and flirt the whole day away. I mean, this is what we did as kids, and it blows my mind how much the world has changed in such a short amount of time. Most of the stores that still open don't even appeal to me at all. They're either jewelry stores, and not the fun ones, but fine jewelry, which those are kind of boring, or a sports store or something like that. Nothing's really that exciting anymore. One of my favorite stores as a kid was Carson Peary Scott. I used to go there all the time with my mom, and seeing that close just, it broke my heart. So there's just nothing left here, which is crazy. I think there's a couple stores open, but you need to understand, when this mall opened, it was a huge deal in our area, and everyone was here constantly. Every store was packed. I mean, like your typical mall scene, but this was the mall, and everyone loved it. There was even a pet store in our mall, which was so cool. Is there still hope for Stratford Square? When you talk to the people that are still around and working at Stratford, they tell you there is. They're still trying to save this mall. And I hope that they can, although I would dare say a lot of malls are going through the same thing. Is it the same way where you live? I really do want to know. If you look around on YouTube, you can see all kinds of malls that have been abandoned and gone out of business, and it's just so sad. So walking through my mall and seeing that, it's still there. I can still walk through it. Me and all the other older folks were doing that little, parade of walking. Although my intent is just to reminisce, and to reminisce with my husband. So when this mall originally opened, this right here was a pet store, and it was called Noah's Ark. Now, this is the only mall I've ever been to with a pet store in it. Did your mall have a pet store, or have you been to one with a pet store? Tell me in the comments below. I'd love to know. So we actually met at the mall 32 years ago, right? 1991, 32, 31 years ago. I believe we met in 1992. And I was working. It was actually my very first job out of high school, was working at one of those kiosks, not an actual store, but one of those kiosks in the mall where we sold and repaired watches. This mall is precious to me for so many reasons, being that it was the first mall where I got to go when I was a kid and be with my friends, being that it's the mall where I had my first like real job after high school. It's the mall where I met my best friend and love of my life, who I'm still with to this day. It's the same mall that we took our son to constantly to spoil him and buy him everything we could. Okay, so I did want to tell you that this mall opened on March 9th in 1981, 42 years ago. So that's pretty cool, actually, as I'm walking around it in March. So basically 42 years to the date. Wow. So it says number of stores and services, 135. 35 are open and 100 are currently vacant. That's not good odds, you guys. Again, I am not trying to be a naysayer. I hope they can do it. I really do. I hope you pull through, Stratford. Okay, you guys, thank you again for joining me, and let's chat. Have a great one. So, we were asked not to film in the mall because they don't want that happening, which was totally fine. I understand. And the gentleman was so kind. He actually said he had some old pictures of Stratford, which will be cool to go back and see if he posts those. There was another time in my life too that I actually was asked to stop filming in Stratford when I was in high school. Me and my girlfriends were making a video of the mall and all the cute boys we met in it for my girlfriend whose birthday it was. And it was a lot of fun. But it's a great mall full of great history, and I'm glad I got to get a little bit of it to show you. Thanks so much for joining me, guys.